Right. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Who's 74. We back with another One Piece chapter review. This is One Piece chapter 1172. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, we in the game. So we done with the flashback. That was over with last chapter. We had more of the flashback, and the flashback ended towards the end of the chapter. So this is the first chapter where we're officially completely out of the flashback. And from the spoilers, all I've been seeing all week is Zoro has a plan. We're gonna see what the hell Zoro's plan is, but I'm gonna predict we're not gonna get his plan until the end of the chapter. We're gonna end on the cliffhanger with his plan. News of the day: I've been back in the gym real heavy, getting it in, working on my anime body. You feel me, on bro? I'm trying to get like Deku. I'm training to be the number one hero. You feel me, on phone. Follow me on Instagram at underscore Houdini bitch. So that's underscore HOUDINI BITCH for more of my flexing and workout content. But yeah, we gonna dive into this chapter. We got some 29% we smoking with today. Don't ask me what the name of it is. I forget, and I'm not going back out there to read the pack. But let's hop to it, y'all. Come on, let's get to it. Let's get to. I just like the way these arms look. Like that's muscle. That is muscle, folks. Okay. Like I weigh 140 pounds, solid. But yeah, you feel me? Like, come on now. Anywho, let's get into this chapter. So y'all already know how we do. We finna sit back, relax, flame up, and review with me. If you do not have a blunt to smoke on your own, feel free to tap mine as I put mine to the screen. Bitch, I'm not a robot. All right. So this week we got the chapter cover. Well, the name of the chapter is the L Bath I Dreamed of, but we got a cover request of Swan helping themselves to Bond Clay makeup. Another. These things piss me all the way off, bro. Y'all don't got no good cover, no cover spreads. Y'all can request that Oda make, bro. We ain't gonna do this. I talk about this every week, every chapter. We ain't gonna do it. We not gonna engage in it this time on phone now. I'm not expecting to see a lot of action in this chapter, honestly. Let's just get that out the way from the jump. But I am expecting to see further story development. You feel me, bro? I'm expecting to see further story development. I am looking forward to seeing. At least I want to see Loki's fucking transformation revealed. I'm tired of the silhouetted shit. Show me that motherfucker on phone. Let me see something. All right, so hit this real quick and we finna start reviewing. Thank you. All right. Hold on, y'all. I'll be back. I gotta spit. I appreciate y'all patience, for hit blunt again, huh? All right, so moving down, moving on. We got the little elevator shaft thing going from the underworld that's taking the giant pirates and them back up to the, you know, where all the shit's going down there. And while that's going on, we got Scopper Gaban who's filling everybody in on the situation above. Scopper Gaban is saying our foes number three. And their mission is to kidnap 10 giant children. They mean to take the children to the Holy Land and use them as hostages to coerce the warriors of Elbaf into being their battle slaves. Hyrule hears this and says, how can a mere trio of humans run rampant over both giants and pirates, Mr. Ya? And then Gaban says, I'm sorry I failed you, plain and simple. On phone them. Sanji says, you say children, but these are giants, right? How are three humans our size going to carry these giant kids? Gaban says the woman of the trio has a strange power using arrows. It seems that wherever these arrows point, the children are helpless to resist them. And what about her arrows that make it like that? Like, how the fuck does that happen? Does she have to pierce them? You feel me? What goes on that allows that to be a thing for her? Like, do they have to just see the arrows and wherever the arrows point? Like, do she use the spin, like the little spinny thing to hypnotize them? I'm confused. And what I mean by that is hypothetically, Gunko could rotate her arrows in a circle to hypnotize the kids and then direct the arrows to where she wants them to go. Bond said they are walking carelessly towards the port in the western village. If they get to the boat, they can lose us. If they get to the boat, they can lose us at sea, and then it's all over. That's their true end point of the situation. But and then we got the little fake sun god dude from the beginning. I forgot what his name is. The dude that was pretending to be the sun god with the little Lego shit. But if that's all, he said, if that's all, then why can they not simply take back? Then why can we not simply take back our children? Gabon says, one of the three, a man named Summers, I know him unfortunately, a man with the powers of the thorn fruit. As a thorn man, he makes free use of vicious spiky vines. He can make them invisible too. He has wrapped them around the children. And that means we can't pick them up. And then forget it's that Gerd. That's not Gerd. Whatever her name is says, and that means we can pick she says, and that means we can't pick them up. That's she's a house of distant. And then Gabon says, hey, and they're as hard as steel. If we interfere with the line of children, they'll bump into each other. Ooh. So start from the back, dumbass. He says they'll bump into each other and harm one another like hedgehogs. So start from the fucking back, hit blunt. It ain't rocket science. Gabon says on top of that, the final member of the trio is the most likely manifesting the nightmares as real creatures. The children's greatest fears have come to life to prevent any attempt to save them. The irony is that the children are simply walking in a line in broad daylight, but we're unable to do anything to help them, all due to the game created by three powers working together. Not so we will save them. That's what Hiruden says. Hiruden says, not so. We will save them. Well, good luck. What's the fucking plan? Somebody says it seems quicker to aim for the three causing all the problems. You say they're immortal, but there has to be a way to stop them, like trapping them in something or crushing them or eating them. Somebody else says, haha, yes, I agree with that. We're nearly up to the sun world. So they finally make it to the top of the little elevator shaft thing, and they see all the fucking chaos going on at the top of the motherfucking back at the sun world. They see everything going on. They see all the nightmare creatures. They see all the flames. Like Elbaf is up in flames. And Hyrugen is looking in shock. We halfway through. I could show y'all this shit now. Y'all could watch with me. Mhm. Hyrugen is just sitting there looking in shock as he's noticing everything's going on. So now you can see we get a wonderful cover spread of, well, not a cover spread, but a wonderful, nice little big panel of the exact chaos that he's seeing from his view. You feel me? He's seeing all these giant ass nightmare creatures running havoc and flames just everywhere. Somebody says it's beyond anything I imagined. There's no limit to these nightmare monsters. Look over there. Is that the great Eric? Up, that motherfucking ship sunk. It's in flames. Somebody says Dorian Broggy crew was on board, but the monsters drowned the ship as they fought back. Unthinkable. Damn, so Dorian Broggy's crew dead? Somebody says, is that Hydrogen? Hydrogen says, Kashi, you're alive. We've been down in the underworld. Tell us what's happening. Kashi says, it's hard to believe, but I'll try to explain. Captain Dorian Bragi are going to kill Chief Jarrell. You have to stop them. Everyone's gone completely mad. Yeah, I forgot Dorian Bragi was even motherfucking Domi Reversi on Phonem. And they been Domi reversing everybody else. I believe they got Oimo. So Kashi is still filling them in. I think that's Gerd. She says, "What about the children, Kashi?" No, it's Ripley. Okay, yeah. He says, "What about the?" She says, "What about the children, Kashi?" And then Kashi says, "Ripley." No. Okay, so that is Gerd. So yeah, Gerd says, "What about the children, Kashi?" And Kashi says, "Ripley's got a group chasing after them, but we haven't had any word about success or not. They should have reached the port by now." Okay, Rodo. That's the little Lego dude named Rodo. He says, "Oh, and you, Rodo." Rodo says, "What about me?" He said, "Bjorn's there." I don't know who the fuck Bjorn's is, but he says that gets Rodo ready to go. He says, "I have to go. My brother is one of the hostages." Oh shit! So Rodo's little brother is one of the hostages. And then Gerd says, "I'll go with him." And then whoever the fuck that guy is says, "Yeah, me too." So we cut back over to what looks to be Sanji speaking to Kashi, saying, "Hey Kashi, which way is the school? Apparently Nami's group is near it." And Kashi says, "You see that fire? That's the school and the library burning." Sanji says, "Why are they on fire?" Zoro then says, "You say that Dory and Bragi have gone mad." "That's right," Kashi says. He says, "Please, you must hurry. Chief Jaru's life is in danger." As we get a map of everybody's location. So we got the school and the library on fire. We got Saul right here. I believe this is where Brooke and not too far off from Saul is where we got the Straw Hat still tied up. We got the children walking towards the port. More children going towards the port. Ja Rule's not too far off from the port, and the Oris Castle, where Harold got killed at. And then we got the giant Dorian Bragi and the rest of the Domi Reverse demons taking the shortcut because they so fucking giant. They not walking across the branches right now. They taking the shortcut right to motherfucking Western Village where Ja Rule is. And then we got all the Strahd. They fucking far as shit, but they can make it in time if they hurry to each of their destinations from where they all are now, as you guys can see. Like if you see where the current location at for the Straw Hats, they are literally the same distance away from the Western Village as they are from the school and the library. They can make it in time. All right, so we cut over to Ripley, the rescue team. Ripley says, "We're coming, kids. We're coming for you." Somebody else says, "Get those monsters out of the way." Then we cut over to the Walrus School and the Owl Library. We see the Straw Hats still thorn wrapped up like they were. Um, by the library, the Straw Hats crew. The library's burning. Chopper's still not back, and Brooke got some kind of ideal in his head and ran off. How the fuck he get out the motherfucking bondage though? Cause he was the most wrapped up out of everybody. Brooke was the one that was wrapped up from head to fucking toe. His full body was covered in bandages and Gunko's arrows. So how the fuck was he able to get out and the rest of y'all still in there? Make it make sense. And then Nami says, "They're taking the children. Get these arrows off of me." And then Usopp says, "Damn it, I never wanted to see Master Dorian Bragi like that." Then we cut over to Dorian Bragi as they are approaching saying, "Kill Ja Rule." And we got the giant pirates trying to stop them saying, "Captain, please stop. Come back to your senses." But it says we get some narration. It says under the power of Domi Reversi, the giant powers head for the Western Village. Okay, we knew that. So while Gerd and the rescue team are chasing the children, they're saying we're gonna be at the port soon, and then don't whine, you're warriors of Elbaf. One of the kids are saying we're gonna be at the port, and then Gabon's son is saying stop whining, we warriors of Elbaf. You know he was the one that was like the little hard body anyway, trying to be a warrior, and it was upset about how soft all the other kids was. And somebody else says, but we're not warriors. So then we cut over to the western village where Ja Rule is. Somebody says, it's time to flee, Chief Ja Rule. There's no reasoning with Captain Dorian, Captain Bragi right now. And then Ja Rule says, no, you should flee if you wish. I will stay. I have something to say to Elbaf. Ja Rule grabs a transponder snail and he says, hear me, Elbaf. I wish to tell you one thing before I die. So he's planning on sparking the flame of revolution in their hearts with his death. And he's going to do this by, I'm assuming, telling them the truth about Harold. Our old liege was our old liege, wise King Harold, wished to bring Elbaf to the world government so that we might coexist with the rest of the world. Hit blunt. We got Emu Gunko sitting here listening to this shit. He says, but on that fateful day 14 years ago, he was betrayed and denied his wish. I witnessed the demon slaughter Harold, and the rest of his soldiers. Harold resisted, bending the knee and handing over Elbath to the demon. So he lying a little bit, you feel me? He washing it, making it seem like Harold fought a demon and XYZ in the third, not explaining the fact that Harold was the demon. He fought and he died. And everybody's in shock. Well, I thought Loki King killed King Harold. But if the people learned the truth, they would rise up in vengeance and become the warrior nation the Harold did not desire. So I held my silence. Loki, meanwhile, bore the rage of the nation upon his back and took to the seas. He may be a tactless man, but Loki is innocent. Zoro says a bit inaccurate, but a nice turn of phrase. And then Harujin says nicer than he deserves. And then Ja Rule is still talking. He says, but today it seemed that they had given, today it seems that though they had given up initially, they once again require our massive power. He says, and thus three demons have come back in an attempt to take our country. Yarn, I could take a nap and still complete the mission at this point, Summer says. I guess it's just easy for you, huh? You just trolling, huh? Elder Yarua continues saying, listen up, you devils. If you spare the children's life, we will freely give up our culture and our history. But if you think you've broken our spirit, you are sorely mistaken. Do not expect Harold's patience from us. You think you can rule over us and enslave us? Who do you think you're talking to? He says, I'm sorry, children. I must ask you to cover your ears. And then Usopp's all hyped up saying, that's right, Gyro. You tell him. The Elbaf I dreamed of doesn't bow to anyone. And that's the name of the chapter, the Elbaf I dreamed of. And then Jarul says, listen up, devils. No, wait. Then Jarul says, if the world is destined to be split in two, as the Harley prophecy suggests, then Elbaf shall be an enemy to the world government. Protect the peace. He says, do you think that Thorns, Reversey, and Illusions would cause us to submit to your yoke? Zoro says, I like that old man. He says 3 centuries ago he was the strongest man in the sea. That's what Hyrogen says to Zoro. So Zoro says, I like that old man. And Hyrogen says, shit, 3 centuries ago he was the strongest man on the sea. And then the rest of the giants are getting hyped up. It says, we will never give in to your rule. I am wrong. He said, am I wrong? All your proud warriors of El, all you proud Damn, let's do that again. We will never give in to your rule. Am I wrong? All you proud warriors of Elbath? And they respond, you're right. Damn it. You're damn right, Chief Ja Rule. That's what they said. Usopp is fanning the fuck out. Oh, the Elbath I love is back. And Nami is like, fine, fine. Just think of a way to undo these arrows. Do whatever the fuck Brook did. Am I wrong? Hit blunt again, y'all. Oh, it ain't lit, my fault. Do whatever the fuck Brook did, fo. Hmm. And then the now, you feel me? I guess the Giants with their new moral boost now from Ja Rule speaks jump into action against Dorian Bragi with Ja Rule leading the front as they finally reach the Western Village. They say protect the peace that Harold envied. No, wait, protect the peace that Harold envisioned, and they leap into battle. We see that Hyrugen and Zoro have caught up. It says we caught up. Watch out, watch out that they don't trap you between them. Zoro says, I've got a plan to be continued. What I say was gonna end with Zoro having a plan. Like I said though, I wasn't expecting a lot of action in this chapter, and it really wasn't no action at all. I don't even think anybody threw a fucking punch. But it was for the purpose of progressing the story, which it did do with that speech that Ja Rule gave, Elder Ja Rule gave. It gave the Giants a new morale boost. It put them back in the game as far as also educating them on the truth of Harold, you know. So now we finna turn this war up a notch. It's gonna be a little bit more less one sided going on into the future now. But I really don't have much to talk about on this chapter. I'm gonna let y'all hit this blunt one more time. And then shit, we gonna sign out and I'll see y'all next week.